Just when you thought Melissa Gorga couldn't fall any further, it got worse. We're talking lawsuits piling up, fake follower scandals exploding, and a family reunion that might be her last desperate move to save her career. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll understand why her time on Real Housewives might be over. Let's get into it. If you've been following the Real Housewives of New Jersey, you know the drama has been absolutely insane. But today, we're diving deep into Melissa Gorga's downfall because honestly, it just keeps getting worse and worse. From getting called out by multiple housewives for buying fake followers, to lawsuits in the hundreds of thousands, to potentially getting fired from the show that made her famous, Melissa's world is crumbling. And the craziest part? A lot of this is brand new information that just came out. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because this tea is scalding. Let's break down everything that's going wrong for Melissa Gorga right now. Let's start with the scandal that has the Bravo community talking. Multiple Real Housewives have publicly accused Melissa of buying fake Instagram followers. And we're not talking about one person saying this quietly. We're talking about housewives calling her out on camera, on podcasts, and on Watch What Happens Live. Kiki Barth from Real Housewives of Miami straight up said Melissa buys her followers. Alexia Napola said it. Even Chanel Ayan called her out. These are women who have nothing to gain from lying about this. They're risking friendships and alliances in the Bravo world to speak this truth. Here's the thing that makes this so damning. Melissa has 2.9 million followers on Instagram. That's a massive number, right? But if you actually look at her posts, the engagement is suspiciously low. We're talking about posts that get maybe 10,000 to 20,000 likes when she should be getting hundreds of thousands with that follower count. The math literally doesn't add up. When you have almost 3 million followers and you're posting regularly, your engagement should be way higher. Other housewives with half her followers get more interaction. That's a huge red flag. And get this isn't even the first time Melissa's been accused of this. When she first joined Real Housewives back in 2011, people were already saying she was buying Twitter and Facebook followers to look more popular than she actually was. So this is a pattern that's been going on for over a decade. Melissa went on her podcast and on Watch What Happens Live to defend herself. She said her followers come from her businesses and her cute family. But come on, millions of people aren't following you just because you own a boutique. The evidence is pretty clear here. What makes this worse is that buying followers is basically lying to brands who want to work with you. Companies pay influencers based on their follower count and engagement. If those followers are fake, you're literally scamming these companies. That's not just embarrassing, that could be illegal depending on the contracts involved. The fact that multiple housewives from different franchises are all saying the same thing, that's not a coincidence. That's people in the industry who know what real engagement looks like calling out someone who's faking it. Now let's talk about Melissa's business, Envy Boutique, because honey, this store has more drama than the actual show. First, let's go back to 2017. Melissa had a business partner named Jackie Beard Robinson. They had a massive falling out, and Jackie took all the inventory when she left. Can you imagine? Your business partner literally walks out with all your merchandise. Jackie claimed that Melissa didn't actually know how to run a business and wasn't doing her job properly. Yikes. But wait, it gets worse. In 2018, Envy got caught selling fake Chanel items. We're talking about counterfeit designer goods. Melissa had to issue a public apology. Do you understand how bad that is for a boutique owner? Selling fake designer items is not only illegal, it destroys your credibility completely. Then in 2023, Jackie Beard Robinson came back with more receipts. She claimed that Melissa lied about actually owning Envy and falsely accused Jackie of theft. This turned into a full legal situation. Jackie sued Melissa and Andy Cohen for $30,000 for defamation. Yes, Andy Cohen got dragged into this mess too. A stylist who worked with the store also came forward saying Envy sold fake merch, including counterfeit designer items on multiple occasions. So this wasn't just a one-time mistake, this was apparently a pattern. Customers have also complained about Envy for years. The biggest complaint? The store only carries small sizes. People have been calling Melissa out for not being inclusive with her sizing, which is a huge problem in 2025 when body positivity and size inclusivity are so important. Here's what's wild though. Despite all of this drama, Envy is somehow still open. In fact, Melissa just opened a second location in Huntington, New York. The store's been open for 10 years now. So either people don't care about all the scandals, or Melissa is funding this business some other way. Which brings us to our next point. If you thought the business drama was bad, wait until you hear about all the lawsuits against Melissa and Joe Gorga. We're talking multiple legal cases involving hundreds of thousands of dollars. In 2022, County Concrete Corporation sued Joe and Melissa for almost $111,000. This was for unpaid building materials. They literally didn't pay the people who supplied materials for their construction projects. That's not just bad business, that's destroying relationships with contractors who trusted you. But that's not even the biggest lawsuit. Blanca Hernandez sued them for $1.4 million after she got injured on their property. That's a life-changing amount of money. Whether they're liable or not, being sued for over $1 million is absolutely insane. In 2018, Starlight Window sued them for $17,000 for unpaid work. Again, contractors doing work and not getting paid. Are we seeing a pattern here? And this goes back even further. In 2014, there were already reports of Joe and Melissa not paying contractors and workers. People who worked for them said they borrowed money from employees and never paid them back. Some contractors said they lost their homes because Joe didn't pay them for work they did. The Gorgas also had $35,000 in tax liens from the state of New Jersey. That means they weren't paying their taxes. They had over $130,000 in civil lawsuits at one point. They almost went into foreclosure on their home. Joe allegedly had to sell his parents' townhouse just to pay off some of these debts. This is a family that presents themselves as wealthy and successful on TV, but behind the scenes, they're being sued left and right for not paying people. That's not rich people behavior. That's people who are in over their heads financially. Most recently in 2025, they sued the borough of Franklin Lakes over denied filming permits. So now they're the ones doing the suing. But when you have a history of being sued by everyone from concrete companies to window installers to employees, maybe the problem is you. The financial problems are so bad that people have speculated this is why Melissa is so desperate to stay on Real Housewives. She needs that Bravo paycheck to keep up with all these legal issues and debts. Now, let's talk about the show that made Melissa famous and how it's completely falling apart. Real Housewives of New Jersey is currently on indefinite hiatus. Let me repeat that. Indefinite hiatus. The show is not filming. There is no season 15 in production. Bravo released a statement saying, "No decisions have been made around casting." Why? Because season 14 was so toxic that they couldn't even film a reunion. Do you understand how bad it has to get for Bravo to cancel a reunion? The reunion is the most watched episode every season. That's where all the confrontation happens. But the cast was so divided and so unwilling to film together that Bravo said, "You know what? We're not doing this." The cast split into Team Melissa and Team Teresa. They refused to be in the same room together. The entire season was basically unwatchable because it was just two groups of women refusing to interact. And who's getting blamed for this? Melissa Gorga and Margaret Josephs. Fans are saying that Melissa and Margaret destroyed the show by making everything about their feud with Teresa instead of bringing real storylines. Here's the truth that fans have been pointing out for years. Melissa doesn't have a storyline outside of Teresa. When she's not fighting with Teresa, what does she bring to the show? Her boutique, her marriage to Joe? It's not enough to carry a season. Even Melissa herself called season 14 toxic. She admitted on her podcast that the environment was so bad that it wasn't fun anymore. But here's the thing, she contributed to that toxicity. In August 2024, Melissa posted what looked like a goodbye letter on social media. People immediately thought she was announcing she'd been fired. She later claimed it wasn't a goodbye, but the timing was suspicious. There have been persistent rumors throughout 2024 and 2025 that Melissa is getting fired. Some reports said she's already been let go. Others said she's desperately negotiating to stay. The fact that Bravo hasn't confirmed anything about season 15 casting tells you that major changes are coming. Jennifer Aydin, one of Melissa's biggest enemies on the show, celebrated when rumors came out that Melissa might be fired. That's how bad the relationships have gotten. Multiple former Real Housewives have spoken out saying the show needs a complete reboot. They're saying the current cast is the problem and everyone needs to go. That includes Melissa. The show that gave Melissa everything, fame, money, business opportunities, a platform, is now falling apart, and a lot of people think she's the reason why. And now we get to the most recent development that has everyone talking. After 3 years of not speaking to Teresa Giudice, Melissa suddenly reconciled with her sister-in-law in November 2025. For context, these two women haven't spoken since 2022. They refused to film together. Melissa and Joe skipped Teresa's wedding to Luis Ruelas. They've been publicly trashing each other in interviews and on social media for years. And then, out of nowhere, they meet up and reconcile. Melissa posted about it. Teresa posted about it. They're suddenly all good again. But here's where it gets suspicious. Multiple sources are saying this reconciliation was pushed by Luis Ruelas, Teresa's husband. Apparently, Luis convinced Teresa that she needed to make peace with her brother Joe for the sake of the family. But why would Luis push this now? After 3 years of complete estrangement, why is this happening right when Real Housewives is deciding whether to bring the show back or not? Here's the theory that makes the most sense. Bravo told them the show won't come back unless the family drama gets resolved. Think about it. The entire reason Real Housewives of New Jersey has been successful is because of the Gorga Giudice family dynamic. That's the hook of the show. If Teresa and Melissa continue refusing to film together, there is no show. So Bravo probably said, figure it out, or you're all done. And what does Melissa need right now? She needs that Bravo paycheck. With all the lawsuits, the financial problems, the business drama, she can't afford to lose Real Housewives. So this reconciliation feels less like genuine family healing and more like a business move to save both of their careers. Fans are not buying it. The comments on both Teresa's and Melissa's posts about the reconciliation are full of people saying it's fake, it's for the cameras, it won't last. Because we've seen this before. These two have had temporary truces that lasted a few months before they were back to fighting. The timing is just too convenient. Right when the show's future is uncertain, right when both of them need the income, suddenly they're family again? Come on, it's not just current cast members coming for Melissa. Former friends are exposing her too. Jan DeDolce, who was Melissa's best friend before the show, did an interview exposing what she called Melissa's dirty ploy to get on Real Housewives behind Teresa's back. According to Jan, Melissa deliberately went behind Teresa's back to get cast on the show, knowing it would create drama with the family. This wasn't an innocent audition. This was a calculated move to create conflict for entertainment. Siggy Flicker, a former Real Housewives of New Jersey cast member, has also spoken out. She said Melissa's friendship with Margaret Josephs is fake, and it's all a chess game for the show. Siggy claims that Melissa doesn't actually care about Margaret. She's just using her as an ally against Teresa. Even Jackie Goldschneider, who was in Melissa's alliance, had a massive falling out with her during season 14. Melissa called Jackie weak and Giudice for not picking sides aggressively enough. These are supposed to be Melissa's friends, and she's treating them terribly. When your former best friends and former allies are all exposing you and saying you're fake and manipulative, that says something about who you really are. In July 2025, Melissa ended her podcast On Display after 4 years. On the surface, she said it was because she wanted to focus on other projects. But fans think there's more to the story. The podcast had become a place where Melissa would trash talk other housewives and share behind-the-scenes drama, but then she would get upset when other people did the same thing to her. The hypocrisy was obvious. She also used the podcast to defend herself against all the accusations we've talked about, fake followers, the business problems, the family drama. But constantly being in defense mode isn't a good look. Some people think Bravo told her to shut down the podcast because she was revealing too much or creating too many problems. Others think the podcast wasn't making enough money to be worth the drama it caused. Either way, ending the podcast is another sign that things aren't going well for Melissa. So let's recap everything that's going wrong for Melissa Gorga right now. She's been exposed by multiple housewives for allegedly buying fake followers. Her boutique Envy has a history of selling counterfeit items and legal problems with former partners. She and Joe are being sued for hundreds of thousands of dollars by contractors, workers, and people injured on their property. They have a history of not paying taxes and almost losing their home to foreclosure. Real Housewives of New Jersey is on indefinite hiatus, and she's being blamed for destroying the show. There are persistent rumors she's getting fired. Her former friends and allies are exposing her for being fake and manipulative. She ended her podcast after 4 years, and her reconciliation with Teresa looks like a desperate business move to save her career rather than genuine family healing. That's a lot of things going wrong all at once. And the crazy part is, this is all happening in 2024 and 2025. This isn't old drama. This is current, ongoing problems that keep getting worse. The title of this video is Melissa Gorga's downfall got way worse again, and I think we've proven that's exactly what's happening. Every time you think it can't get worse for her, another lawsuit drops, another housewife exposes her, another business scandal comes out. The question now is, can Melissa recover from all of this? Or is this the beginning of the end of her time in the spotlight? Personally, I think she's in real trouble. When you have financial problems, legal problems, business problems, and you're about to lose your main source of income from Real Housewives, that's a recipe for disaster. But what do you think? Is Melissa's career over? Will she survive all of this drama? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more Real Housewives tea. I'll be covering all the latest drama as it happens. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.